Hey guys, Tony here, and welcome to another episode of TTBurger Game Reviews. Those of you who saw my second to last episode, you saw that I reviewed the game Criticom on the PlayStation 1 and Sega Saturn, and know that I gave the game a totally abysmal out of 10 because the game was felt totally unfinished, and the fact that it was pretty much unbeatable and unplayable and was just a big broken mess all around. I shall mention that Kronos Digital Entertainment, the company that made Criticom, went on to make two more games in the Criticom trilogy, or what people call it the Trilogy of Terror, because I'll explain later. The second game in the trilogy, the Criticom trilogy, was Dark Road, which was only released on the Nintendo 64, and I have no way of playing it because I don't have a Nintendo 64. But I can show you guys the third game in the series of the Criticom trilogy, the Trilogy of Terror, called Cardinal Syn, which was released in 1998 and is only on the Sony PlayStation. Now, going into this game, usually a sequel or something like that usually improves on a game and stuff like that in the trilogy. The truth is, with Criticom, is that this game does improve a little bit, but it also makes some things worse than it was in Criticom. I can't say anything about Dark Rift, so I can't really say anything about that, but the thing with the reason why this is called the Trilogy of Terror, because all three of the games are so bad that it pretty much got bashed by the critics very badly. As you can see here, the theme for Cardinal Syn is set in the medieval era with knights and everything like that. And you can see that the cutscenes look better than they did in Criticom, so that is a step up that what Kronos Digital Entertainment did with the graphics department. But that's pretty much the best thing I can say about this. And I didn't really pay attention to anything about the story because the story was just so hard to follow that it just talks about this girl named Syn who became all evil and stuff like that and such, and that's basically all I can pretty much say about it because there's not really much to say. But after that, we can see we have more modes to choose from. We have team battle, we have team battle, survival, and stuff like that, and versus and stuff and such. And it's actually an improvement here since you only had two modes. This one you have a few more. And as you can see, we have some more misfit characters to choose from. I think I couldn't remember how many we counted, but I think there's 6 of them, I think. But the character I'm going to be playing as is the character Orion or Orion, or I don't know, however you pronounce it. I'll call her Orion. That's what I feel like calling her. So if I announce it wrong, I apologize there. And then we see a little cutscene here, which doesn't even have a narrative or anything like that. So I guess that's a good thing because the voice setting in Criticom was just awful. But then we get into the gameplay here, and as you can see here, that the graphics have improved a little bit, but still, for a game released in 1999, it's really not saying much at all. And as you can see here, that the opponent AI can still whoop our ass, but at first the opponent AI is can be both easy and hard at the same time. But that's really not saying much at all. I really don't even know how to pull off special moves here again because I tried doing the combinations and the special moves just do not work. You're probably thinking, oh, it's probably your controller, Tony. But no, it's not my controller. I've tried different controllers and they all respond the same way. And yet, this is just a snooze fest here. It's it's got blood in it too. This one's actually M-rated. It's got blood in it this time, but it also wimps out by giving you the option to turn the blood off and stuff, which I don't see how this is gonna affect anything because it doesn't even look that violent at all. I'll say now that the backgrounds actually do look decent. I'll admit they look decent. I mean, I know I'm saying positive things, but believe me, there are negative things here, and I'll begin to the negative things in a little bit here. And here's another problem. Since you don't know how to do special moves, you're just gonna be mashing the same attacks over and over again, and that's annoying. I shouldn't have to keep abusing the same attacks over and over. I don't like when fighting is turned into a button mash, and I have to mash buttons over and over. That just pretty much becomes a chore for me, and me being a big fan of fighting games, that is a turn-off for me. But then we get to stage 3, and this is when things start to become really shitty. First off, we're fighting this Joker-like character like Heckler, and the opponent AI, just the difficulty just ramps up all the way, and this is on the normal difficulty. And I'm guessing normal difficulty is very hard, disguised as normal and stuff, and yeah, I mean, I'm doing good so far, but like later on, I'll show you right here. Later on, he's gonna start whooping my ass. He's constantly whooping my ass, picking up. I forgot to mention you can pick up power-ups in this game, where like it'll heal someone, heal your health, someone will give you like extra attacks, and I don't know what those blue potions do. The manual doesn't say or anything like that. But like, yeah, he's like, this is where it gets worse, because the opponent AI is even worse as later on, it's like that. Because like, at least I was able to beat Criticom for the first time around, even though I couldn't beat the second time. I just get powered up and stuff. Here, you can't even beat them at all. Like, I literally spent I don't know how many times trying to beat Heckler, but I know as a fighting game the stages get harder and harder, but not like where they have to ramp up the difficulty so high where it makes it impossible. And like the opponent AI got so many perfects against me because he would not give you a chance to attack. He just keeps attacking and attacking and attacking. He will not stop. And I thought my controller was broken, but it's not. It's not broken. They literally and the same problem in Criticom is that you can almost beat them, but then all of a sudden they'll start abusing the attacks and they'll end up beating you. And it just goes on and on and on. But the worst part, the worst character I had to fight was this guy called McCree. He literally will like ram you into the train track there with a sliding minecart coming by, and it'll run you over more than one time the way the way you land like that when it hits you. He just does not give up at all. And I'm not trying to say I suck at the game, because believe me, I'm good at fighting games, and I like fighting games with weapons and stuff like that. But this is just absurd. Let's compare this to the game Soul Blade by Namco, which was first released in the arcades and then on the PlayStation. As you can see here, this is another fighting game with weapons, and here we have balanced gameplay and balanced enemy AI, where you're able to beat it, and it can get a little tough, but still there's nothing preventing me from beating the game. Here, this game just like expects you to know every single move and stuff, and just randomly mash buttons. And I just don't get what the heck was even the point of even making a third game when the first two already flopped. I mean, you could have got 2 strikes and then would have fixed it with a home run. And I will admit, actually, this game in the Trilogy of Terror is actually the most playable game in the trilogy, but that's still not saying much, because we still have cheap AI, boring ass gameplay where it can literally turn into a button masher. And the fact that like the graphics have improved a little bit. There's not really much to say about the voice acting except for the narrator, because like the narrator is just okay. He's better than that awful robot voice, but that's really not saying much in a game like this. And you know, the sad thing is that like I really wanted to like this game, because I enjoy fighting games. I enjoy playing different types of fighting games. I mean, I like Mortal Kombat, I like Tekken, mainly Tekken 3, and Soul Blade and stuff, and like Biofreaks. Well, Biofreaks was okay, but like still, it was much better than this, and Bloody Roar and stuff. But here, this is one of the worst fighting games I've ever played. It's so, I mean, it ranks up with the Criticom trilogy or Trilogy ranks up there with Versus and stuff like that. It's a little bit worse than Versus, which I will get to in some other time. But yeah, I mean, there really isn't much else to say, because this game is just terrible. It's pretty much a big smack in the face to people who like fighting games, and it's a big smack in the face to people who enjoy fighting games with weapons and such, and like the fact that they had 3 chances to Cardinal Syn Entertainment had 3 tries to redeem themselves, and they failed each time. I heard Dark Rift was even worse and stuff like that than this game, so I really can't say anything. So correct me. I'm not gonna review Dark Rift. It's an N64 game, and I don't have an N64. But yeah, something wrong. But I pretty much don't have anything else to say here. It's just, this game is just terrible. It's a little better than Criticom, a little better, but that's not saying much at all. It's still gonna get a low rating, but the rating won't be as low as I gave Criticom. So, what's my final rating on this? Avoid this game. Especially fighting game fans, avoid this game. There are much better fighting games on the PlayStation 1, like the ones I mentioned, than this. This is why it's called the Trilogy of Terror, because each game was bad. So, yeah. I would like to rate the entire Trilogy of Terror 1 rating, but since I can't play Dark Rift, I can't do that. But I can tell you this, What do I give Cardinal Syn? Well, this piece of shit right here is getting a 2 out of 10 because of the graphics and like and stuff like that, and like the narrator's voice sounds okay and stuff, and at first the first few stages are beatable and stuff, but that's really not saying much at all. And yet, that's pretty much all I gotta say, people. This is Tony, peacing out.